Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Glass. So this is my homage to Mr. Glass, rocking that purple tonight, and trying to look at least decent, my goodness. So the sequel to the sequel that now makes a Shyamalan universe? What? But after both Unbreakable and Split impressed, definitely I was excited for Glass. If you've seen my most anticipated films for 2019, it made the top 10. However, early reviews, early buzz, word of mouth has not been positive for this film. So, my expectations were a bit tempered. But I must be pretty easy to please because overall, I enjoyed myself with Glass. Not to say that I don't have some problems that we'll get to. However, at large, I think this is a solid entry in this mini universe. So let's go ahead and start off with our positives. The acting across the board is really wonderful in this film. James McAvoy picks up right where he left off in Split. He doesn't have quite the screen time and the scenery to just chew up like he did in Split. However, he has a lot more like on-screen, right before your eyes transformations, and they are wonderfully done. He just lives this character, and it comes through beautifully on screen. James McAvoy pretty much steals every single scene that he's part of. He's great. Samuel L. Jackson was also really good in this film. I enjoyed him from his paralyzed kind of self and persona all the way through to the more in-depth, more maniacal type of things he's asked to do. However, Bruce Willis isn't asked to do a whole lot, and so that's a little bit disappointing. He's perfectly fine in the film. I thought Sarah Paulson actually was really good. Anya Taylor-Joy was really good. So really, the acting was a strong point across the board. And I also really enjoyed how we got these characters together. And in particular, Glass's kind of plan, I thought unfolded really cool. That was Shyamalan working his twists and edges in nicely. I don't think he went overboard. Maybe it got slightly convoluted, which is a problem with Shyamalan. But it all still fit within what it was we were watching as his plan unfolds. And I think it worked. I like the interaction between our three characters. I thought that was all done very well. The scenes inside of the asylum with Sarah Paulson interacting with them was great. And then having them kind of grapple within themselves and their powers was done really well. So I guess what we're saying here, the storyboard was solid. All of the pieces were there, and for the most part, they work pretty well together as we move along. And honestly, it was just kind of a fun ride to get these characters together, to get Glass working his magic, and to see it all kind of unfold before your eyes. I thought it was a pretty good time. However, the film does have quite a few negatives as well. First of all, this is definitely one of those films where it is a good time, and if you kind of just accept that, then you'll get that out of it. However, there's a lot of jumps in logic, a lot of kind of plot hole type things with the facilities going on, with just the logic behind what the characters do. There's a lot of, once you start poking, it quickly can become a Swiss cheese type of situation. Also, I do think Shyamalan went just a bit overboard with tying everything together. I thought the track with Glass in particular was done very well, and everything moving forward was done well. It's when we start kind of backtracking into the past and really working to kind of shove every little nook and cranny into one storyline that things get too convoluted and too messy. And in saying that, there's too much exposition. Being the mastermind, Glass as a character does serve as an exposition machine in this film. He walks us through a lot of the movie. And that leads to the negative that Shyamalan doesn't really leave a lot for the audience to figure out themselves, to kind of go off on for themselves. It really is kind of just told to you from Glass. And I think our characters kind of come together a little late in the film, and we spend a long time inside of the mental facility, in which Samuel L. Jackson's character doesn't really speak or doesn't really do anything. And then when he does come alive, it gets fun, and then it's a lot of exposition. So this film was a little bit slower than I had imagined as well. It doesn't click along at the pace that you would kind of hope it would. Which, if you remember back to Unbreakable, that also isn't like a fast film. It moves very methodically. However, I think the script is just better, and the film is just overall a better made film, so you don't feel those pacing issues. And also, the meta-ness was handled much better in Unbreakable. This time, Samuel L. Jackson is just like lobbing the watermelons at us throughout the film. I think Shyamalan should have been a co-writer, because he had a lot of the great ideas. The framework was all there for a great film. However, we needed to add some subtlety in here, and we needed to strip away from here. And I think if he had just had a co-writer, this would have been a fantastic film. And speaking of things we needed to strip away, there were like 5 endings. There kept being those points of, oh, nope, we're not done yet. Oh, nope, we're still going. Oh, no, okay. And overall, I think the ending we got was maybe the least satisfying of them, because it almost flies right in the face of the messaging and the validation that we receive throughout the rest of the film, and that was a little bit of a letdown for me, actually, a bit of a disappointment. So in saying all of that, Glass is a pretty heavily flawed film from most filmmaking aspects, if we are being honest. However, chalk it up to guilty pleasure, chalk it up to me just being along for the ride. I ended up having a good time with this film, and I enjoyed it for what it was, and that's about all I can say. I had a good time with it. I see its flaws, I see a lot of problems there, but ultimately, they didn't really dissuade me as a viewer from having a good time with the film. So if you enjoyed Unbreakable, if you enjoyed Split, obviously you're going to want to see this film. I would give it a matinee, because there are a lot of problems there, but I think you're going to get kind of what you want out of the movie. If you're not a Shyamalan fan, you could probably skip this one altogether, especially if you didn't like Split, if you didn't like Unbreakable. You're not going to get anything out of this, so it's not really worth a watch. If you're on the fence, wait for it to come for rental. So, that is my review of Glass. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Glass? And what is your favorite M. Night Shyamalan film? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or, again, hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!